And we should be going live. Here we go. All right. It looks like we are live. Give it a second. Yeah, and we've been doing the, talking about consistency, we've been doing the live stream thing 50, I don't know.
Every Monday.
I know, but for how many weeks? At least 40 weeks.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
No, it can't be. It can't be.
No.
When did we? We'll have to go back and look and see when we actually were doing it live. Whatever.
I mean, at least half a year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we started doing it, and then we got away from it. But then it just became normal.
Yeah, it became a thing. And then and now it's it's super fun. We do it all the time. It was Jillian. Jillian was live, right? We did Jillian episode live. We're doing it live. No. Episode 101. So episode 101 was we're doing it live. We're now on episode 48. So 47 weeks we've done it. We've done it live like this. For the for the most part, I mean, we've done almost a year of live streams.
Yeah, that's some consistency.
Still don't even have 1,000 followers, subscribers.
You're getting there though, right?
We're like. We've stayed at 946 for the past few weeks.
Really? 946?
946. It's
cool.
All right.
That's cool. Hey, good evening, Adam. Adam is in. Okay, are you guys ready? We'll count down and get started. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. It is a Monday night at 6:30. We are live on YouTube, and we have Edward Shin joining us tonight. How you doing, Ed?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Good. Well, first of all, I want to say, for those of you watching the live chat, or if you're watching this video later, screw you, Ed. We are all on funky USB webcams, and Ed has got like a 4K slow-mo, like super filter camera.
No, you can just tell like it's a high-end camera.
He spent maybe a couple dollars more than the Amazon webcam that we're using right now.
Yeah, my Amazon webcam was like $30.
Frankly, I like sitting in the dark with the grainy video.
Yeah, you don't need. It's like
I think I look more mysterious.
I spent a half hour trying to figure out. I don't know if you guys noticed. I hung the banners up behind you, so you had something behind you. And I spent a half hour trying to figure out the lighting to make Matt less attractive.
You know what? You guys got the high quality audio though. That's what matters on a podcast, right? It's the audio.
Yeah, no one's. We have faces for radio. No one's dialing in here to look at our face. That is for sure. And the chat room's already giving me a hard time for the 3, 2, 1 countdown. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
WNBC.
You are home.
I know.
This is your
I'm already home, so I win.
Oh, okay.
So we
just screw you guys.
Screw you guys. So we got. So it's been since February of this year, so
almost a year,
8 months ago. Yeah, we had the chance to hang out with Ed at the Icon Overland event at Hammers this year, and Ed was.
What year was that?
I know
it seems like it was 4 years ago, dude.
Never. I know it seems like forever,
like a long time
but
ago.
it was only 8 months ago. We ended up spending quite a bit of time around the campfire with Ed and his buddy, and it was we go back, we talk about that event. That was a really cool event because there was a lot of us there that knew each other through social media, through the Icon connection, but we really got to hang out at the campfire and have a good time.
And what I'm about to say, I'm not saying this because you're on the show right now. I actually told these guys. So when I saw you there at the Icon thing, I was like, dude. I was geeking out because I follow your YouTube channel for a while, and I was like, dude, that's Edward Shin. And they're like, who?
I know you.
Go talk to him. Go say hi.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
I can't just go say hi.
I
don't
to that
say
guy,
hi
to him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jose was like one of the 10 followers I had at that time.
Well, that 10 followers has grown to how many now?
I think I'm at 36,000 now. Yeah.
Jeez.
He's like, I don't know. I got like, let me check. Last hour I checked, it was 64,397.
So for every one of our followers, he has 1,000. So that's cool. That's cool. So Ed, you're in the Pacific Northwest, right?
Correct. Yep.
Where specifically? Seattle?
So Vancouver, Washington. So I'm at the southwesternmost side of of Washington, and then it's basically I hop over the border, and 15 minutes south of me is Portland.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is it shitty and cold up there right now?
It's getting there.
That's one way to put it.
I will take shitty and cold over me physically running from fire today. I physically thought I was going to die today in the fire down in Irvine. We'll tell that story later.
Oh,
well, that's crazy, man.
Santa Ana season. So there's that song. Damn it. It's that band. The Hills of Los Angeles Are Burning.
Yeah.
Bad Religion.
Bad Religion. Thank you. That's a good song. And
Great
it's true. It's like, oh, here we are again. It's the Hills of LA Are Burning.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a
timely.
It's a shit show down here. So, Ed, first of all, let's talk about your YouTube channel. How long have you been doing that to get to the 36,000 followers?
Oh, man. All right. So I've had this channel for, I'd say about like 5 years, but I haven't been active on it like the first couple of years.
Oh, okay.
And and it started off just like backpacking. I did a lot of backpacking, and, I just decided to, just kind of film it because when everyone starts doing or taking up a new hobby, they try to learn, right? Or they try to you Google it or ask people, but YouTube was the way people learn things, Yeah. So I started watching these backpacking channels, and they were sharing their trips. They were talking about their gear loadout and everything. I was like, hey, I can kind of share some of what I got in my experiences. That seems kind of fun. So I just had like a cell phone camera, just went out and did all that stuff. And I didn't really take it too seriously. And, just all of a sudden I posted a video of the gear I bring, and it just kind of blew up. And then, we had a lot of people asking questions on it, commenting, hating on it, talking some smack and all that stuff. And
I feel like that's how I feel like, sorry to cut you off, but I feel like if you got some people hating it, you're going the right direction.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know that when I first started. My skin was a lot thinner when I was starting on YouTube, getting the views. So
all three of us were a lot thinner when we started this too. It's been a bad situation.
Yeah, man.
I think they have like iron pills or something for that, just in case.
Okay,
you're thin.
Is the what?
Iron pills. It thickens your skin.
Matt's in the process of trying to figure out how to thicken his skin, and I think he's working on supplements.
There's directions I can go with that.
Yes, we're not going to,
but I'm not.
So let me ask: when you first started it, like, did you know that you had any, or did you have any experience or passion or background in filming, or was it just, hey, I want to see if I can put this on YouTube?
I used to be, it's hard to be one now, but a long time ago, I used to be a big movie buff, like watching, I used to go to a movie theater once a week, all the time, but I did not actually know how to film. So that's why I started with a cell phone and just edited on a cell phone and did all that stuff. And it's just when more people start to watch it, and then you're just like, okay, I want to kind of make it a little bit better and a little bit better for these people, like people who are watching and just want to make the quality a little better. So of course, I did some research on that stuff, like how to edit, how to film, and all that stuff, what looks good and what doesn't look good. And then I just kind of incorporated it into my channel, and then, just start to pick up. And then the best way to learn from me is through experience, guys. So like I had to experience it, make mistakes, and then, see what videos got the views, what didn't, and then just try to incorporate that into how I film in the future and stuff like that. But it's just a progress over time.
And, if you got like Brad Pitt or somebody to co-host the show, they'd probably get a lot more views, like handsome people. I'm not saying me and Jose aren't like...
I mean, our holiday's coming up, Halloween, so we can put a mask on.
I do feel like you guys drag me down, but that's a totally different topic. That's... So the backpacking stuff.
Yeah.
So that was... How did you make the transition from backpacking to off-roading?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So some of the backpacking trails, it requires you to go on off like forest roads and stuff like that, And so while I was filming my backpacking stuff, I started to incorporate and just kind of like my trips getting there and like, my rig and stuff like that. Back then, when I first started backpacking, I had a BMW X5, 2005. It was a shitbox, and it's just horrible. That
sounds like an adventure vehicle. Yeah, let's see that thing.
Yeah. Let's X5 and off-road are.
Let's Gambler 500. Let's Gambler 500 that thing.
Dude, I was gambling with my life every time I took that out, because
just one day while
I was driving on the, it just broke down out of nowhere. The engine just like crapped out on me, and I was stuck in the middle of the highway, and I had to call a tow to get me out of there. And that's when I got the Tacoma after that. I was like, screw this.
So you got the Tacoma to help get you to some of your backpacking locations, but how did that like I could totally see we're like, oh, I want to go backpacking, so I'm going to take this truck. When did you realize that walking was too much work and it was way more fun to be in the truck?
When I got the Tacoma, actually, that was the transition, man. I was like, all right, no one really wants to. I don't think no one really wants to see a BMW driving around the forest. You know what I mean? But when I got the Tacoma, you know, my wife now, back then she was my girlfriend, and we were just starting dating and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, let's just go. And you know, the thing is, she loves backpacking and stuff, but women, or I shouldn't say women, but she likes to be more comfortable out on trips and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And backpacking is a little bit more, you know, it's more challenging and physically it pushes you, right? Whereas overlanding or car camping, it's not as physically demanding. You know, you just kind of sit all day, you get to where you want to go, and then maybe if you want to set up poles in the rain, that's kind of taxing on you.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
You've just described that's my style of camping. Like, am I sleeping in the truck tonight? Or am I actually going to pull the tent out and put it together?
9 times out of 10, it's sleeping in the truck.
I'm sleeping in the truck.
Sleeping in the truck.
Depends on how many beers I started popping before I unloaded the truck.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you know, as we started doing it more and more, you know, Katie liked this. She liked the car. She likes backpacking too, but she likes car camping a lot just because it's more comfortable. And then we said, we have this Tacoma. Let's just film some stuff. And then after we started filming it, people started watching it. The Tacoma fanboys, and then, or the Toyota fanboys and the Tacoma fanboys. I guess that's a kind of blends in, but it can be separated. And then we said, okay, we'll just do more stuff with this because it was fun. And I think the very first camping trip, or very first or second camping trip we did with the Tacoma, which got decent views, was we went out to the woods and we brought nothing but an Easy Up and an air mattress and a dual sleeping bag. And then it was a long bed Tacoma, so it was a 6-foot bed. We had a queen size mattress, or I think it was a full size, and we inflated it, put it in the back of the truck bed.
Put the Easy Up.
Laid down the sleeping bag, put the Easy Up over the truck, and it started raining that night. And then I just, you know, but it was a fun experience. It was really fun, you know. And then you get the questions like people, you know, the haters, and then the people were like, "Oh, that's cool, this and that," and you know. But it's after that's what kind of launched it and propelled it, and like just kind of motivated me to just kind of do more of that stuff, and it was fun.
What year was that?
Oh man, I think that was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Was it? Katie would know better than me. I have a horrible memory when it comes to these things. It's all a blur, but I think it was like 2017. I think it was 2017. Yeah.
So at that point, were you still filming on cell phones?
Yeah. I was actually, you know what's funny is I didn't really film on like this camera or DSLR or whatever it is until like maybe a year and a half ago or something like that.
Really? Well,
it was all camera phone.
And there's enough technology in camera phones these days to where you could.
Yeah.
The margin's getting smaller and smaller every time.
And when you think about the viewer perspective on YouTube, how many people are watching it either on their cell phone or on a crappy monitor?
Right, so you put out this high quality video and everybody's watching it on crummy ass
screens
screens anyhow.
Yeah, it's you film it in 8K and they're watching it in like 0.2K. It's like, you know, that's so I can see where you could if you had good content and you edited well, putting it out with a cell phone camera would still be fairly successful. You know, it's when you want to do more, right?
Yeah, I mean the latest phones like the iPhone Pro Max, iPhone 11, iPhone 12, those things you can actually do like a full
4K,
feature like video,
4K
and
60.
it'll still look good.
But at that
it has
point,
4K
it's storage. You can't have anything else on your phone because it'll be filled up.
That's why I got the highest capacity on mine, because just in case.
Yeah, I mean, given that the sensors are smaller on the cell phones, but you know, the thing that made me want to just kind of step it up to these cameras is the fact that some of my viewers would actually message me, or they would post on Instagram that they're watching my video, right? Like, hey, we're watching Edward, and it's on a big screen. I'm like, oh crap! Like
now it's all pixelated and funky. Yeah,
and I'm like, sorry guys, man.
Well, but I would think transitioning from the cell phone to the DSLR or higher end equipment would give, from a cinematographer perspective, give you more options in how you shoot, what your distance are, what kind of framing you have, like all of the things that go into making it other than just the video. You'd have more options, right?
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes the differences are subtle in just how the viewer perceives the stuff. Like, and sometimes they don't even think about it, but it affects it. Even like audio, right? Like you listen to the audio in a video, you don't really think about it sometimes, but if it sounds a little better, cleaner, smoother, you just want to keep listening, you know. And then once in a while, if you hear static or something, it just kind of bothers you. And it can be subconscious, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
and the thing with sorry to cut you off. The thing with the camera is like, the different lenses you can attach, you can choose the look that you want it to look, right? With the cell phone, like you're fixed on that whatever the lens has. Yeah. But with with the camera, you can choose a perspective.
You have apps though. You can
that's true.
On your phone, you can have the Brad Pitt app, you know, and it kind of makes you look.
You use the one where you get like rabbit ears.
The rabbit ears, I mean, those
you can't do that on a DSLR.
Helpful. Yeah, I find those are very helpful.
Presley likes the one that makes me look like a punk rock girl, and I the makeup and the.
You're like, wait, there's no filter.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the one that makes you look like a baby?
Yes. I have seen that one.
I put that one a couple of times, and I get comments on that. That thing is hilarious. It makes you look like you're literally like 5 years old.
Yes. Wow. As you transition to the DSLR and the bigger equipment. How much of that was just you watching YouTube, reading manuals, and figuring it out on your own?
Pretty much all of it. I mean, because there's so many options now, right? For everything, for video, visual, audio, everything. There's just so many options. So I didn't know where to start. I had no idea. I had a cell phone, and for a brief period of time, I had the old GoPro. I think it was like the 4 or something, or 5 or whatever. And then I scrapped that, but I was like, I don't know anything about cameras whatsoever. I haven't been trained. I haven't taken any classes. So I had to definitely YouTube everything. And then I basically looked up best DSLR for videography or videos. And then the Lumix GH5 came, and, I had a G85 before, which is a little bit less, lesser end, not the higher end. And then just went with that, and then just learned as I went, basically. Like, even now, I don't even carry more than one lens at a time, 1 or 2 lenses at a time, and they're both prime lenses. And like, they have no zoom feature, nothing. I just say, I want to keep it simple, keep it easy. When I'm out on the road filming stuff, or when I'm shooting out of my truck, I don't want to have to worry about zooming and changing lenses and all that stuff.
How meta is it that a YouTuber is going to YouTube to learn how to YouTube? Like, right? I mean, and I think that's the norm now. Like, you want to do a YouTube channel about how to camp or work on your truck, but you're not sure how to do it, so you go to YouTube to learn how to do it, and then record yourself doing it, because the way you record it or the way you tell the story is going to be a little bit different than the guy that you learned from. And I think it's a really weird, but also super cool, like, incestuous is not the right term, but like,
whoa, what?
It like it's all feeding on each other. Like, it all. What would be the word? Not
incestuous.
No, it's not.
That's a whole another word.
I know. That's why I said it wasn't the right word.
How about infectious?
Carnivorous?
We're not eating anybody.
All right, this is not. We're not a.
We're not a vocabulary. I'm no vocabulary scientist. Okay, look.
None of us are.
I'm saying
you're gonna say like 15 minutes later out of nowhere. That word.
No. Influential. Thank you, Joey Mendoza. Influential. That's a good one. We'll go with that one. So as you, how I don't want to say how quickly or how hard was it for you as you started ratcheting up in your quality? Because it's just like anything else. It's just like building a truck. You get a bigger camera, you need more storage. You get more storage, you need a better computer. You get a better computer, you need a better monitor. Like, tell me about that process, how it all ratcheted. Because at this point, I don't even want to guess how much money you've got invested. I don't even want to know. Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those things where, like, how did you work through that? Did you just invest all at once or slowly build on it?
It's always a slowly building process, I think. I mean, I'm not at a place where I have tons of money in the bank where I can just like buy everything I need. It's fortunately, I feel blessed and I'm grateful for platforms like YouTube where I've been able to monetize my content. So that kind of helps in order to give back, So basically, like 99.9% of the stuff I get from Google AdSense and ad revenue, I put back towards equipment, gears, truck stuff, all that stuff, And over time, it's like, I think it's just our nature. If we want to be the best we can be, we always want to improve, whether it's our rig, whether it's our gear, whether it's our equipment, whatever it is. I don't think or me personally, I'm never satisfied. Like, I'm grateful and I appreciate what I got, but I feel like it can always be better. Whether it's even like, my rig, I feel like it's pretty much done, but there's still stuff on the list where I wish I had these things.
Done. It is never done.
Yeah.
So
you still need lockers. You still need.
Let's transition to the rig. So you had the Tacoma for how long? Because you were not driving the Tacoma anymore.
No, I had the Tacoma for 2 years, and Katie and I started to have conversations like, so it's like a two-part thing. One part was we had conversations about, hey, if we're to start a family, grow the family, will this be enough space? We had a dog, and in the Tacoma, it has a very narrow center console. So Katie basically had to carry Bernie on her lap because if we put him in the back seat, he'll just run all over the place, and we don't know what he's going to do back there, So that, and the fact that when we go overlanding on trips, we want to go all these places, and that requires staying in the car, sitting down for a long period of time. And we felt that it wasn't as comfortable. Tacomas kind of suck in terms of comfort for long distance drives and everything.
More than kinda. They suck a lot in comfort.
I can't bash them, but I will say that it is what it is, right? Like,
we've talked about
adjustability sucks.
We've talked about it a bunch of times. The Tacoma is a bulletproof truck. It's great for what it does. It does not provide comfort.
No, it's not. I think a Tacoma would be a fun platform to just like build for like a weekend jaunt at a trail and just go off-roading in. And you don't want to go there fast, and you don't need to tow anything, and you don't need to put anything in the truck bed, and just have fun with it, But so we started looking at other vehicles. Actually, it was just on a whim. We were driving actually to go backpacking. We're out of nowhere. It was like, okay, let's go backpacking. We drove, and it was in the winter time, and we went to the trailhead, and the cars, all the cars just filled up the parking lot, and we couldn't find any place to park. So we said, okay, we'll just turn around. As we were driving back, we were passing by the Toyota dealership, and Katie and I, actually, it was funny because Katie would never really initially agree to big purchases right off the bat, right? Yeah. So I said, okay, you want to look at some Tundras or just like bigger, comfortable cars? She goes, okay, let's go check it out. So we went there, and then, of course, as it is with most of the time, they got it. I'm a sucker for things like that. I don't have. It's just because I like it so much. It's hard not to sell me on something that I already like.
Yeah.
So we were there, and then we just looked at the Tundras. I was like, man, this would be great. And then so we ended up trading it in for a Tundra.
How long ago was that?
That was last April or something. So it's been about a year and a half since I've had the Tundra.
Yeah,
now.
You had it at I remember you had it at the Icon event in February.
Yeah, and that was still relatively new, or I felt it was new. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't even a year and a half, because we got it around the winter time. I think it was.
Oh yeah. You said it was winter time, so you probably got it a couple months before the Icon event in February.
Yeah.
So and those Tundras are fantastic. I know Jose has ventured.
There's a revolving list of trucks, right? Like one day I'm like, okay, I've decided which one, and then I start analyzing it. I'm like, fine, nope. Yeah. Like it keeps switching, either a Tundra or like a ZR2 or a Frontier or a Tacoma. Or it's nonstop. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think there is a perfect truck. Is there a perfect truck, guys? I mean,
Ford Ranger.
I mean, with every practice? Truck, I feel like
exactly.
No, I agree. That's why that's we talk about the Frontier or the Ranger or the Tacoma or the Land Cruiser. Like all of these vehicles, they're all great for their own characteristics. And I would love to have a full size truck again. Just today, Tammy and I. We drove by a Dodge, and I was like, "Man, I really miss my Dodge."
Dude, I miss the F-150, the space. Like, you can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Matt, no, my last Dodge, the 2013 quad cab 4x4. I freaking loved that truck. It was beautiful inside. It had all kinds of power. I miss it, but then I go back and forth. Would I ever have a full size rig as my primary off road truck? I don't know.
Right. For all the shit you carry, you need a heavy duty.
I probably do. So, but you're right. I don't think there's a perfect vehicle. I think there's whatever vehicle you have, or whatever vehicle suits your needs for the moment. And then,
Yeah.
you know, that's why like I enjoy changing out vehicles every handful of years because I get to experience something different.
Yeah. Like for the Tundra, everyone knows like the number one thing that's like the con of a Tundra is like the gas mileage. It sucks, right? Like right now
Can't be
with
worse
the
than mine.
mods that I've done so far, I'm getting a little over 10 miles to the gallon. I mean,
just on par.
I mean, we're lucky the gas prices are low right now, but like,
Yeah.
you know, once they go, if they go back up, it's going to hurt the wallet. You know what I mean? And the other thing is it doesn't have any lockers. You know, the Tacoma had a rear locker, but the Tundra, that people ask, they go, why didn't they put a freaking locker on the Tundra? Even the TRD Pro models, the trim doesn't have that.
But
you know?
let's be no, none of the Tundras have lockers in them.
What?
None of them.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, dude. How many times do you really need a locker?
Every single time.
I have never needed the locker.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, we see.
Yeah.
It's always death by analysis. Like, it's like stuff you need, right, for the trail.
Death?
Yeah.
Death by analysis?
Is it death?
How
does the saying go?
Oh, that sounds pretty
Paralysis
extreme.
by analysis, right? Or
I
whatever?
understand what you're
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
I think that's right.
Less severe.
Well,
whatever?
Well, that's why I ended up getting the Tundra is because of that. It's like I'm okay with that, you know, like, and then you just end up deciding, is it something you really need or not? That's, you know.
And it goes back to the conversations we've had multiple times about what terrain are you driving, and where like if you had a locker, maybe you would push it somewhere, but you don't.
No, I'll tell you that new Dodge, the
TRX.
TRX, I'll find some new terrain to drive for that thing. That thing is badass.
Yeah.
That one looks like a beast.
And we talked about it. I went for years without a locker in a vehicle, and it, you know, I had plenty of fun. I think it really comes down to what you want to do with the vehicle and what you're willing to say is my limitation, and you know,
Right.
And then I think with a full size truck, and this could be a bad or a unpopular opinion, but with a full size truck here in Southern California, where we do most of our wheeling, you're not going to fit that full size truck in a lot of those locations that will require a locker to get through the rocky stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
You don't
dude.
think? Okay,
No.
maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
Well, I mean, even up here, it's hard because there's a lot of very narrow trails up here, you know, and sometimes I'll look at the trail and I'll just be like, oh, I'm just going to pass by and look for something else, or I'll just push my way through it, you know. I mean,
Yeah, he says,
You know.
"Fuck it."
it's like just a few more pinstripes, it's okay, you know.
We did it. It was early.
32.
That is early. This is early one.
So let's talk about that. So all the pinstriping on the truck. So you decided to not get the vehicle wrapped because that would be way too easy. You
Who would do
decided to
that?
wrap
Yeah.
the vehicle yourself. You decided to wrap a full size truck.
Wow.
That's a lot of surface area.
Yourself.
That's a lot of surface area.
Let's
See,
unpack that
see.
decision first.
See, not way too easy. I mean, yeah, I like a good challenge, but it would have been way too expensive.
Yeah.
I cannot justify spending because the full size truck, it's more material and more surface area. It would have been between $4,000 to $5,000 to wrap the Tundra, especially the way I'd want it to, with the material that I want, because the type of quality of the vinyl also contributes to the price.
Yeah.
Oh, you use that 3M,
was like, man,
huh? 3M.
Yeah, I can't justify that. I mean, that's that's a lot of money. Yeah, and I got the 3M 2080 on there. So what I wanted to do was I you know, looked around, and of course Google search, YouTube searched, and you can spend between $500 to like $900 for supplies and do it yourself. Of course, it takes that time, and I didn't know how to do it, right? So, but I figured, you know, why not give it a shot? And if people can do it, then other people can do it.
I remember tinting my windows on my first car in high school, and it was like, man, how much do you want to tint some windows? Hell no. And you know, so I did it myself, and sure, I got used to all the bubbles and stuff in it. So I wasn't really bothered by it at all. So I figured, you know, what's a few bubbles for like texture on the side of your rig, right?
Well,
Right.
I love the fact that you said if somebody can do it, then somebody can do it, right? If people can do it, then another person can do it. I recognize that. And we joked a little bit before the show. I wrapped one of my mountain bikes, and like I feel like that was minor in regards to the truck, but the truck also is a lot of flat surfaces. So I would think that you could lay that out pretty easily.
I guess it's just the small details like the around the headlights and the brake lights and the door handles,
and it's the constant learning how to stretch it, which direction to stretch it, when to heat it, when not to heat it, when to wrap. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you wasted quite a bit of material as you started, but by the end of it, how did you feel about your wrapping skills by the end?
Yeah, do you want to come down and do a frontier?
a 3-for-1.
Well, so I'll tell you this. So there were many times throughout the process where I told myself, maybe I should just have paid someone to do it. Or like, maybe I'm never going to do this again. But by the end of it, I'm planning to do another wrap in next year, sometime in 2021, and it's just because for me, there's different people who learn in different ways. For me, as I mentioned earlier, it's through experience. I need to get hands-on. And once I get hands-on, and I think it's part of the muscle memory that develops as a part of the process too. Because there are times where I learned, for example, throughout the process, and it should have been common sense, but it wasn't to me, is that if it's cold out, and we were just talking about the weather earlier, Pacific Northwest, all of a sudden it just started to get really cold. So it was like 50 degrees, and the truck's in the garage, and I have a sweater on, it's so cold in the garage, and I'm trying to stretch out this vinyl. So it's just like ripped in 3 ways. And the thing was, this was the last piece of vinyl I had, and I had to use that to wrap the door, or else I would have had to order another roll.
Oh,
so,
damn.
Yeah. So if you look on the driver's side panel, I have 3 different areas where there's like tears, and I had to realign the tears so that I can kind of cover the original paint. Yeah. So that's, but that's the learning experience. Now I know when I wrap again that I'm going to have like infrared heaters around, or I'm going to make sure the environment's warm.
Put it out in the sun.
When they did my truck, and my truck is just small. It's just the sticker in back, and then one of it was cold, and they had the like the space heaters, the propane flame throwing fan heater things. He was like, pull it in. We got to let it heat up for a while before we can start doing this. And I'm like, that makes sense, because I could see it being brittle and ripping. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long?
Well, I was going to say, like, you just pre-bought. Did it have any pattern on it, or was it like what? I haven't seen it.
It's just an army green, like
it's just a matted color.
Green.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. If it had graphics on it, it would probably look like a big stretched out amoeba looking thing that's supposed to be a rectangle.
And you could say you were going for
I was going to say, they do have the ones that
I meant to do that.
They have you can buy it with like digital camo or like a random patterns. And I would think that's almost easier. Can you get
it hides a mistake.
Yeah.
Can you get like a Dodger one? Like, so the whole side of your truck is like the Dodger emblem with the baseball coming off. That would be sweet.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you can, but that
ain't going to be cheap, because I mean, no one wants to pay for the losers of the World Series.
Not right now.
They made it. They made it to the World Series, didn't they?
They did.
You don't even know.
No, it was 2-2 last time I checked.
It's 3-2 now, baby.
Is it really 3-2?
That's right.
Wow. When's the next game?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
if it were tonight, I wouldn't be here.
That sucks. That's how much Matt wouldn't be here if the Dodgers are playing right now.
Priorities.
Exactly.
No, you guys are doing pretty good. I mean, you guys made it, like we said earlier, almost a year, just every week. That's dedication. That's admirable and respectable in my eyes, for sure.
Thank you. Somebody's thanking me.
Look, that doesn't mean you get a day off.
Some credit.
That doesn't mean you get the day off. We had to suffer through your poopy sessions last week.
That was gold. Everybody was hilarious. Loved it. You want me to set my timer again?
No,
we can reminisce.
I don't. Ed, how long did it take you to do the Tundra, the wrap on the Tundra?
So I thought I was gonna be done like in 14 hours, maybe 7 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday. I thought that was gonna be max, but it ended up taking me 30 hours to collectively to get it wrapped. Yeah.
Is that your like daily vehicle, or do you have something else you can drive?
So luckily my daily is not really a daily anymore because of this COVID, and I work remotely from home now.
Okay.
And we ended up getting like a baby mama mobile, like a small SUV, so that we can just use that to zip around town. No, I wanted Katie to get the 4Runner. It's basically her car, but we use it as our daily now.
Yeah.
So we got a little it's the compact SUV. It's a Lexus SUV. Like I think it's like the 200T or HT or whatever what that's called. But so we use that. But yeah, the Tundra used to be a daily.
You're that impressed with it that you don't know what the name of it is?
Shitbox Lexus.
It's his wife's car. It's his wife's car.
No. The reason why I was stuttering is because in the back of my mind, I was like, I really wish she got the 4Runner instead.
Okay.
That's a hot topic.
She's going to kill me because she's
household,
watching it.
Yeah. So on the topic of your wife, she is expecting. Congratulations, sir. When's that happening?
November 3rd. Yeah.
Dude, that's like
So-
just in case you didn't
realize
know,
that's like a 2
that's
weeks.
that's like around a corner.
Yeah,
like for
yeah,
real.
like
That's an estimated. There's a plus or minus there that can happen.
Dude,
You know,
Tammy
That's right.
Tammy on the day went into labor on the day they predicted, and she was Presley was born the next day.
Exact day.
Yeah. Do you know boy or girl?
Yeah, it's a girl.
Ah, yes.
It
you're
is.
gonna start crying.
I'm gonna be a girl dad.
I'm
and,
gonna cry, dude. I'm gonna cry
start
right
crying right
now.
now,
I
dude.
tell you what, it's the greatest thing in the world.
it's-
These guys have boys. Who cares? Nobody cares about your boys.
Look, when they're doing yard work and helping
Yeah,
me around
dude,
the house, that's when I'll be like, yeah.
when they're changing my brakes, I'm gonna be like, there you go.
Exactly.
You think Presley won't
When
be
they're
doing it too?
when they're coming over doing your breaks, then we'll see.
Well, true. But
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's more stressful having a girl than a boy in terms of just like being a father figure or being a parental, just kind of overlooking them? Because I think with the boy, you can just kind of let them roam loose and do their thing.
Yes, yes, and no.
that's- Yeah, I would say.
Have you been watching me parent my boys?
So-
they're throwing rocks at shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Matt just
get
throws
out
like
there.
raw meat out in the front and then just lets them, but just enough to feed one of them, so they have to battle for it.
That's why Johnny is so skinny. From my experience, I believe that I would be a very, very different dad if I had a boy. Like, I was raised by a ex-military drill instructor, first sergeant, football coach. Shut up. Get out there on the field, throw some dirt on it. Like, that plenty of affection in my house, plenty of love and happiness. But it was like, he was strict, and I feel like if I had a boy, I would probably have gone down that path. And because I have a girl,
You're the opposite.
I am the most snuggly, goofy, fun, like watching princess movies, letting her wait till one day you take your shoes off and your friends realize that all your toenails are painted because your 3-year-old little girl wanted to paint your toenails, and you're like, yeah, baby, you could do that.
Yeah, I don't even ask anymore. Dude.
He just shows up. He's got the colors like ready, already picked out for you.
No, if anybody sees me with painted toenails, they know exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Presley wanted to paint.
Yeah, you have painted toenails all the time. I don't even ask him because I already know.
Yeah. It's so. I think I would be a very different dad if I had a little.
Starting to well up.
I know.
As soon as
If
you
I had a
start
little
talking
boy.
about
Here we go.
And I absolutely love being a girl dad. It's the best.
Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting experience for sure.
Do you-
I tell my friends that I'm going to be probably overprotective. I have a feeling, just knowing how I am going to be, and I'll be the classic dad, when she brings her prom date home, I'll be sitting on the couch, the single-seater couch lazy boy with the 12-gauge sitting on my lap with
You're
a
gonna be
12-gauge hanging on the
for
wall
some-
behind me.
It's not coincidence that you're cleaning your gun that night, like their first
Yeah.
date.
Right.
I had a dad do that to me in high school. I had a dad. I was dating this girl, and her parents were up at their cabin in the mountains, and we had a football game Friday night. So I told her I'd take her up Saturday. I drive up Saturday. We park across the street. I get out, and her dad is standing on the balcony with his shotgun. He's like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Scared the crap out of me.
Coincidentally.
Yeah. So I did. I think I will be more protective as she gets older, but as a little, I throw her around where we wrestle. Like I'm not worried about her breaking as a little girl. Like I treat her pretty tough, and because of that, she's pretty tough. Jose, do you think you'd be different if you had a little girl versus a little boy?
Yeah, I'd probably side like with Edward. I'd be too overprotective. I feel. I don't know though. I'm not.
Yeah, there's no way to know,
There's no
but-
way to know. No.
Well, yeah, you need to have another kid. You should have a girl right
that ain't
now.
happening. All right.
No, hey, this is for science.
Okay.
Wait,
I'll get on
so
that
how,
right away, dude.
So how many? Which of you guys have the most number of kids?
Matt has 2 boys.
2 boys.
Yeah, Matt has 2 boys. Jose has 1 boy. I have a little girl.
And are any of you guys planning on more on top of that?
No.
So that's enough.
Dude,
One or two.
I'm almost 50. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
I
preparing to die.
I was
like, I thought about like, you know what? I mean, why am I fighting this? Let's just.
I was 42 when Presley was born, and I'm crippled. I'm going to have to work till I'm 60 to get her through high school, and I can barely walk. I have one arm. I can't. There's no way I can handle a second kid.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm 39 now, and I'm one of the, I guess, late bloomer. Is that what it is? But I'm already aching in places I didn't know I had muscles. You know what I mean?
It's downhill from here, dude.
Yeah, I turned 35 this year.
And you're like a fit, sexy dude. So you may get an extra couple years out of it, but I'm telling you, dude, you hit 40, just start picking out a plot in the local cemetery because it's all downhill from here.
Right.
We've been telling Jose that it doesn't get any better for a while.
Just to start random pains to start like, dude, it didn't hurt. It hurts to get out of bed sometimes.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, so my dad was 27 when I was born. So when I was, going through my teenage years and stuff, he was still relatively young, right? And he was able to physically like do stuff like actively, right? When my girl's going to be a teenager, I'm probably going to be wanting to just sit on the couch and not do anything, or maybe.
So I'm trying to take the approach that I will have to stay somewhat active in order to keep up with her. Like, if I had had my daughter when I was in my 20s and she's now in high school or whatever, getting ready to go off to college, I would be lazy and sitting on the couch not doing anything. Now I have a reason to stay active.
Yeah,
now, I can't seem to do it without hurting myself. That's a whole nother story. But I'm trying to stay active so that I can get through her teenage years.
Right. And you got to be able to beat up the bad boyfriends, right?
No, I got Uncle Matt, Uncle Jose, and I got she's
cousins.
I was gonna say Presley is the youngest.
Say, please don't make me fight.
At that point you're gonna be worth
any young teenage dudes. Can we get one of my kids to do it or both of them? Right, I could pass that down.
My daughter has 3 older boy cousins on my side of the family, so I think that's covered. We're good there. I'll sick one of the boys on them, and knowing Matt's kids, they will probably destroy that person. So
with them, it's not even no questions asked, dude. Just tell them.
You'll have to say,
it's like a barking dog on a leash. Just
it'll be like
let him loose. Like go.
I want him to go to urgent care, not emergency. That's you have to draw that line.
Well, we'll have Johnny's just the emergency room, and then Michael's the killer. So which one? Which one are we setting loose?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. We're not planning this.
We're talking 10 years from now.
So, are you so on the 3rd? Are you taking time off? Are you gonna like try to take some time off for once the baby comes?
Yeah, I'll just take maybe a week off. Yeah, Katie's got the maternity thing going on. She has the 3 months off, but I'll be working full time. Well, I mean, the crazy thing about this is like before the COVID happened, everyone had to drive to work and do all this stuff, right? So I would have been a little bit more uncomfortable working if I had the baby back then. But now it's like, I'm in the same house. So if they need me for anything, I'll just be right downstairs in the office and I can just go up, So I don't think it's a bad thing. And plus I like working. So it's, so Katie's the one that's going to take care of everything. I'm just going to be the support.
Yeah. And that's, I think you're right. If you want to look at the bright side of COVID, the working from home is going to make it a lot easier for you guys in that regard. And although it will probably make it harder because I'm going to bet you're going to be like in between conference calls and you're like, I just want to go down and give her a snuggle. Like I just want to go hang out with her for a little bit.
No, I'll be changing a diaper on a freaking web conference.
Oh yes.
Make sure the camera doesn't point down.
Man, that is when Presley got out of
I'm not looking forward to that, by the way. The diaper changes and stuff.
You know what? It's not that bad. It is what it is. You get over it. But it's the amount of money you spend on diapers and the amount of times a day you have to change that tiny little person. It's like annoying as hell. I was so happy when she got potty trained and got out of it. And now that I think about it, I don't know that potty training in diapers is necessarily off-road overland content, but but that's
give me a few more years, and then it's probably going to be.
Yes.
We're halfway there, dude.
Yeah, in a couple years we'll be doing a segment on how to what's the proper diapers to wear when you're on the trail.
We'll go after that Metamucil sponsor.
Yes,
dude. That's what I'm looking
I'll tell
for.
you this. I get a surprising number of comments on my channel after I made the announcement about the baby. People saying, "I look forward to seeing how you overland with a kid or with a baby, and what kind of challenges you go like." Because they're looking for this. I mean, there's a lot of people who can relate to that, you know. So I think that's because I've never done it, right? So I'm probably going to end up looking up content about people camping with their kids and babies and how they do it. So surprisingly, it is kind of, you know, off-road overland related in a way, I guess, you know, for the families.
Yeah, it definitely changes everything. You know, it's crazy how like you were telling the story earlier how you and Katie were like, hey, let's just go backpacking. Let's just go.
More of that.
No. You got to plan 3 weeks in advance. You got to have 14 bags of crap to take with you. That's just to go to the grocery store, and then. And then once you get to a point where you don't have to carry the diaper,
you have to go to the Bass Pro Shop and buy out everything, even shit you didn't even know you needed. Oh, man. I can't even think of just literally everything at Bass Pro Shop. You gotta pull.
Well, but he's already set up. He's already set up pretty good on the overlanding. You know, so it's probably.
I mean, Cody brings a spear everywhere every time we go camping. So what does that tell you, dude? I mean, he literally brings a spear.
Yes, it's my favorite thing. Yeah, when you're walking out in the dark to go to the bathroom, you want to have. I want distance between me and the pointy end. I want to have length there. I don't, you know. So with that, so the baby's coming along, and now you're gonna have to go down the path of trying to figure out how to do your thing with a kid. Like what are you excited about? What I mean, are you scared? Are you excited? Like what are you thinking about that's the next step?
Man, okay, so I always think about trying to be safe or trying to all the what if stuff, you know, like some people say it's like a prepper mindset. I don't want to think of it that way, but I like to be better safe than sorry, like make sure I have all the things I need in a medical kit and all that stuff, right? So the first thing that comes to mind is how am I going to make sure the baby doesn't get swept up by an eagle with giant talons while it's playing, you know, while we leave it outside or while it's crawling around in the little packing place.
Because you left it outside.
Yeah, why would you leave it outside?
First tip, you don't just leave the baby out there.
Don't leave your kid outside.
Yeah, but
that goes to show how much I don't know
about Ed and his kid.
But
like
we have
you
a
don't
camera
just,
on her. It's okay.
You don't just like set them out in a field.
Hey, did you have to watch a YouTube channel to know not to leave your kids outside unattended?
See, clearly that is how much I don't know about the
He's like, actually, that's the next one on the queue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Google
it. So, well, the thing is, like, so I didn't know about this until our friends just had a baby last year, and they went camping with us and brought the baby and brought this thing that I just found out about recently, not too long ago, is the packing place. It's like a play area crib thing that you can fold it up and bring it outdoors. So they brought that and they had the baby in there, and we were just kind of sitting around the campfire with the baby in view. Kind of, I guess sometimes you got to give them the independence, right? Like, I mean, you can't have them.
We had one of those pack and plays that never came out of the bag.
Same thing with us.
Never once came out of the bag. It was like 3 years later. We got it from like a baby shower. 3 years later, I'm like, what do you want to do with this thing? We got to get rid of this thing because it was taking up space.
That's exactly what we did with ours.
Yeah,
it never got opened.
No, if we were out, if we were out like at a park or whatever, we would lay out a blanket and let her just play on the blanket. Like, you know, we weren't too worried about, you know, where she went, or we just wrangle her back, you know. But that's, I mean, again, so this goes back to what we said earlier. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a way to do it. You will figure your way out.
And like we told you before, just do
if
whatever
that involves falconry or eagles or whatever.
Well, no, he's gonna hire.
He's
gonna buy his own falcon, train it to
fend off
all the other eagles.
No, here's the thing. Just put a GPS tracker on her ankle, and then you can start an adventure like trying to find the baby, and you can film how the baby got swept up by an eagle, and now you and Katie are off track. Imagine the content.
No, listen. I did not realize how much logistics is involved when camping with a baby, because now we're going to have an extra baby inside the tent. What are we going to do in the rooftop tent? If, you know, with the baby in there, how are we going to make the space, you know, and everything. Yeah, it's like, and now we also have to be conscious and mindful about if we go with our friends, is it going to be cool to have a baby around that's going to be crying all night, or crying here and there, or screaming or whatever?
It's not. It's not.
I'm not quite camping with Matt.
It is not cool.
If you go with people that have kids or have had kids, they get it. It happens.
Yeah,
right.
And you'll never camp with them again. They'll just, we can't make it.
Hey.
And then next thing you know, I heard you guys went camping like the week after I invited you guys to go out. Yeah, we didn't.
Funny thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was washing my hair that weekend.
Exactly. The whole weekend.
Yeah.
Me with my bald head. I had to.
I'm excited overall, though. I mean, I'm definitely gonna, because some people have said and commented saying you're not gonna go camping, you're not gonna go overlanding for a while, all this and that. But I still plan to do it regardless. I have a Katie. There might be weekends where I'll go by myself. You know, I'll do a solo trip or whatever.
Yeah, it will be. It will be, and then there's, I don't know what the right answer is, but there's a certain period of time where the kid probably shouldn't be bouncing around in a truck, right? And then once you, as a parent, you decide what the right time is.
And then there's when you start doling out the Benadryl.
Yeah.
And then
it was Dramamine.
Okay,
it was Dramamine.
Whatever.
Yes, do not give your do not give your 4-year-old a full tablet of Dramamine. Totally bad idea.
So what's the story behind that?
So Presley gets car sick, and I thought, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give her. I stopped and got some Dramamine. I gave her. It said like adults or children over 5 or whatever or whatever it was.
Have you ever taken Dramamine before? Because
yes.
I'm a full grown man. And if I took one pill, like I'd feel that. Good night, Matt.
So I gave her a half of one tablet.
A tenth of my size.
1/100th of your size. So
I
had given her.
She's not 30 pounds.
I gave her a half of a tablet, and then like halfway through, she was saying that she was still not feeling good. Her stomach was bothering her. So I was like, okay, well maybe I'll give her a little bit more. It knocked her out for the rest of the day. She was asleep. It was just her and I wheeling with Matt's brothers, and Presley was knocked out the entire day. And I felt horrible that I drugged my kid for an off-road trip.
Situations where, so this, people might start judging me and hating me, whoever watches or listens to this, but there were times where I thought maybe there are certain exceptions where you can give your kid NyQuil or Dramamine or whatever. And the reason why is because there was one time where we were on a flight. Katie and I were on a flight.
Yes.
And there was, so I guess
no parent will judge you. No parent will judge you for giving your kid NyQuil before a flight.
Good. That's good to know. I'm gonna write that down.
No passenger will judge you for that.
Yeah,
I'd buy you a beer.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in a plane, I think in any other situation, if you're trying to teach the baby just to cry it out or whatever, they don't need to get fed or changed or whatever. You let them cry it out, right? But in a plane, I think that's a kind of the exception, right?
Yeah,
like,
it becomes a social courtesy thing. I mean,
I didn't have the option. It's not like when I booked my flight and Cody's bringing his kid or something, and it's like, dude, if you'd have told me that I was going to be on a 5-hour flight with a screaming kid, I'd have booked another flight. Like, no, I don't want that.
I think
there's some Dramamine.
And this is something I think we're losing a little bit.
We are going down.
We're going down
dark,
a path.
road.
I think there's a point where there's a level of social courtesy that outweighs whatever your parental needs are. Like if you're like, you know, if you're one of those, if some people like to do things all naturally, or you know, you've got certain restrictions on diet, and fine. You put your kid on a plane.
Not when we're in a tube.
Yes.
30,000 feet in the air.
At some point,
I don't care.
And we took Presley when she was maybe 2. We took her to Hawaii on a flight, and she was great the whole time. She played, and we drove. You know, we're playing on her tablet and coloring and snacks. No problems at all. But I've been on other flights where other kids, you're like, this is the worst thing ever. And you know, I won't judge you.
Well, for the record, I'm not really going to give them NyQuil or
No, but your point of view changes too, because you see that crying baby, you're like, man, that sucks, because you know how the parents feel.
Yeah.
So you don't even get mad at it. You're just and like you just feel what they're feeling, and just like that sucks.
It's funny because you're right. Like in my 20s, I'd be like,
"Oh yeah, dude,
come on, what's
just
angry?" And then now I'm like,
in your 40s, you're like, "Excuse me, can I offer your kid some of my Dramamine? I brought a little extra Dramamine for my kid.
Carry Dramamine for my kid. Would you like some?"
If anybody from Child Protective Services listening, to this,
but yeah, it's
kidding.
weird.
They're kidding.
It's pre-kid and post-kid, like your point of view changed on so many different things. It did for me at least.
Yeah,
I can't speak for
100%, 100% agree.
But yeah.
Do you guys ever try bringing like your kids when they're babies or very small to like trails and stuff when you go trail riding and things like that?
Yeah.
You ever do that?
Presley was, I think, one the first time I took her on a trail, and she was in the car seat, and we just jammed. I bought her this neck pillow, and we just kind of jammed stuff around so she wasn't flopping and bouncing at all.
That's the biggest thing is they can't support their head.
Yeah, so their head, so they start banging their head from one side to the other in the car seat, and so they get headaches and they get miserable. So trying to they sell like neck pillows and then head things that go around. So you'll figure that out, dude.
Well, and that's the thing I'm partially concerned about is the fact that, I mean, they're going to be in that child seat for a while, but we still want to do the overlanding thing. We still want to go off-roading and everything like that. And it's not just like a smooth road. There's going to be bumps. There's going to be, inclines, declines, ruts, all that stuff. And babies are pretty resilient though, right? I mean...
Yes, but when they turn 4 and they decide that they don't like the bumpy, guess what you get to listen to the entire trip? When is it going to be not bumpy? Daddy, you're driving too bumpy. Stop it. Daddy. That's her thing now is the road is too bumpy and she doesn't like it. So I'm hoping
I think at 4 is when I'll start carrying the Dramamine in the glove compartment.
Here, honey, have a snack.
Oh, your allergies are acting up again. Here's some Benadryl.
It's like your kid has a lot of allergies all the time.
She's allergic to bumpies.
Yeah.
So other than your child being born, which is a major thing, what other stuff do you have coming up for the channel or for adventures or events or what? I mean, like what's next?
Yeah, so you know how we were earlier talking about this setup and everything. I had got this mic and did all this stuff because partially due to COVID, because we couldn't go out and the baby too. I find myself just kind of being stuck at home a little more frequently than before. So I want to kind of incorporate more of this studio type of environment into my videos. And I'm hoping, I mean, last year I was supposed to go to Overland Expo West, Overland Rally and stuff like that. And I'm hoping, and I'm hoping next year it'll come back, and even I don't know if you guys heard or not. I don't know if they're going to do the King of the Hammers from Icon or not. If they do, maybe, yeah. But I do want to incorporate continued overlanding with eventually the baby. The baby's going to probably end up being a bigger part of the channel than I realize, I feel like. So yeah, it's going to still be overland related and I'm still going to make content based on that. And who knows? I mean, I even thought about maybe getting a second project car just for bashing it on trails,
So in theory, King of the Hammers, it is happening in February or whatever. And you're bringing your daughter. Do I need to bring some extra Dramamine?
She's gonna be months old.
Or do I need a camp on the other side of the?
So everybody that's listening,
camp,
send Dramamine.
Maybe in 4 years.
Send your Dramamine to
Matt is a horrible, despicable person. Yeah. Very much so.
I have recently asked about the Hammers event from Icon 2, and my understanding is they're looking at options right now and to see what's happening. If the King of the Hammers event happens, I'm going to go out on a limb and say if the King of the Hammers event happens, regardless of whether or not Icon is officially putting something on, my expectation is we will be out there. So sure. Whether it's sanctioned by one of the brands that sponsor the show,
or just
everybody going, hey, we're going to meet out there and wheel. I'm going to be out there regardless.
But that was my first time at the King of the Hammers. So what I'm used to is they go out into that valley floor and camp there, and then go out into the Hammertown and check out all that stuff.
To Thunderdome.
But if Icon doesn't do that, it's going to be different, right? You guys are going to camp more inside camp.
No,
Hammertown.
no.
No.
Hammertown scares
I'll go to
me.
that same. I'll go to that same
we'll go to
spot.
that same spot.
It
I
just
want
won't
to
be
camp.
fenced in.
Yeah, we will camp out away from Hammertown. Is fun to look at through binoculars from far away. And it's
Mad Max in real life. Isn't that
yes.
great, dude?
But we would find a place to camp that's away from the madness, and we could go into the madness if we need to. But especially if I have my wife and daughter, and we all have kids and stuff. I prefer being out in that area where they were, or a similar area where we were away from the madness of Hammertown.
Yeah, that place is kind of crazy. I'll show you guys the story. It's my first encounter. So Chris, the guy with the 200 series Land Cruiser, him and we went into Hammertown, and this was before how they had the race, and then the actual day of the races and stuff, and we were at the Icon like semi truck and all that.
We had food and everything there. Yep.
Yeah, so right before we got in to watch those or to get the food, we were just chilling outside, parked by the gate of the entrance, and so we were just watching cars go back and forth, right? Like kicking up dust, and there's some pretty cool rigs, and we're just like having a good old time. And then this weird like station wagon just crept up right in front of us, and then this old dude rolled down his window, and then he goes, and he holds up a cardboard sign, and it says moonshine on it. Like, what?
Wow! Please tell me you bought some moonshine.
Dad?
Please.
Yeah.
My dad was out there?
But
was it good?
so
Yeah, was it good?
Well, the thing was, okay, so for me, I was just like, all of a sudden, like red flags went up, right? I was like, this guy just pulling up, telling us that he has moonshine. You don't even know if it's real moonshine or not. You don't know what's going on, right? And Chris was like, yeah, what flavors you got? And he's like, peppermint. He's like, peppermint, peach, watermelon, blah, 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 all this stuff. And he was like, oh, he didn't say peppermint. He said candy cane. He was the fancy moonshine soda.
Wow.
And so I don't know how much of this I can share, to be honest. But
oh, wait. I think that stuff came out that night, dude.
At the campsite?
Yeah. I think it did come out. Did you bring it
might
in?
have.
Yeah, you see? There was moonshine being passed around that night.
Oh, what? Oh,
I don't.
wow.
You know, the thing is, he had a few crates of mason jars of moonshine. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were other people who were partying with that stuff. But
it sounds like someone in this room may have partook in the moonshine, and they didn't realize.
I don't remember much of that night.
I was going to say, I don't know how you guys remember much of that night.
But yeah, that Hammertown was insane. Man.
Yeah,
Awesome
we've talked about it before. Anything that can happen will happen in Hammertown, and if you're in your 20s, that's great. When you're 42 and got to go to work on Monday, that's not the place I want to be.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like the wild. It's like what is that place called?
Burning Man,
Thunderdome.
Yeah.
No, that that one place where there's no laws, and then
Arizona,
just
Arizona.
Underguard, Arizona.
Well, I forgot the name of this. I'm brain farting, but Down to Mob Phil. He was there with his friends and stuff, and they set up camp in Hammertown, and so we drove by their area, and there was really no lines kind of separating where people can camp, but you just saw, fifth wheels and trailers all around you, and people just speeding up in dirt bikes next to you. It's just like, man, if you have like a dog that decides to stray off somewhere or a baby that crawls out of the camp, I mean, you just don't know what can happen, right?
Yeah, it'd be
it's
snatched
insane.
up by an eagle.
Yeah,
you
there's
know?
a lot of eagles out there.
Eagles are the last of your worries in
Those
Hammertown.
dang desert eagles.
Yeah, I'm worried about myself being snatched up by, who knows what in Hammertown. You're part of our clan now. Oh, shit.
Okay, can I at least text my wife and let her know?
No.
What clan?
Oh, come on now.
I can't disclose which clans I belong to.
No.
Jose.
No.
Jeez.
Edit that. So as your life starts to take the dad turn, and there's going to be more dad videos and all that stuff. I mean, I'm so excited for you. Like I can't. It's the best, man. It's everybody has a different take on it, but I've being the dad of a little girl has been a lot of fun, and I hope you have as much fun as I have.
Absolutely, man. Thanks, dude. Because, yeah, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's going to be a roller coaster of a ride.
Oh, yeah.
For a while.
And you have to accept 100% that she will break your heart. What
do you mean?
So I saw this video that I thought was adorable but hurt.
Crying,
I know, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
So this little girl and her dad walk out of the door to go to school, and she says, "Daddy, I love you." And he says, "Oh, thank you, honey. I love you too." And she says, "But not as much as mommy."
Oof.
Oh,
So she will break. There's gonna come a day where you're not gonna be the most important man in her life, and it's gonna break your heart. I'm already prepared for it. It's gonna happen.
yeah. I'm just going to have to develop a cold heart now, huh? Just while I'm ahead. Just don't build any attachments. How about that?
We'll see how that works out for you. Let me know how that works out for you. Yeah. See if Katie buys into that.
No, I have a feeling I won't be able to help it.
Yeah, no, you can't. There's nothing you can do about it. All right, man. Well, look, dude, this has been great. We've been wanting to talk to you since last February, and we're really excited about all the success you've had on your YouTube channel, and I'm sure it will grow bigger. Is there anything, like any place you want people to go to check you out, YouTube versus Instagram versus website or any of that stuff?
I mean, you could just look up Edward Shin on Instagram and YouTube. Those are my primary platforms. I do have segue like links to like a Facebook page that's not active and stuff like that. So it's just primarily the YouTube and Instagram, and it's just you look up Edward Shin and it'll come up on the search.
Yeah, that's. I'm excited, dude, and we will. Let's do this. Let's make sure that we're keeping in touch between now and February, because if the Hammers thing goes down and we have to put together something on our own, we will. Because I definitely want to be out there for the race, regardless of whether or not someone's sanctioning it. But well, cool, dude. Look, thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing your story. I'm really excited.
Thanks for not hanging up on us after 15 minutes.
Notice the battery didn't die.
I appreciate. I'm going to take that as a positive.
Yeah, the backstory there is I don't know if it was on the recording. I think it was before we started recording. Ed was like, "How long is this going to take? Because I have a battery that might not last very long."
I got about 30-40 minutes.
Yeah, and we're pretty sure that was his way of like getting out of the interview if it sucked, and he could just turn the camera off and be like, "I don't know what happened.
Oh, guys,
next time."
He drifts away.
Hey, let's not mislead your listeners. I said the camera sucks up the battery, so the camera's gonna go black, and the audio's still gonna be on. So you're gonna hear me cursing while I'm changing the battery on the camera, and I'll come back on.
Well, fortunately, we didn't have to do that, and this was a great interview, man. You're a fun guy, and hopefully we get to catch up again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks.
All right, man. That's we're still in the live feed, but we'll stop the recording there at seriously, dude. That was a fun time, man. We got kind of off topic of the off-road stuff, but I think it's it's fun to have those conversations and how it relates to real world life and stuff.
At the end of the day, dude, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. You just got to do what you and your wife think is best for your family.
And I don't
right.
I don't know if you have. I don't think any of my wife's family listens to this. People.
You're not recording now.
The
live
internet. Is still there.
Yeah.
There will be older women in the family that have very strong opinions about what you should and should not do with your kids.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that. Just bite your tongue and move on. Let them.
Well, I mean, even in the Overland community, right? So I'm in a Tundra group on Facebook, and so there was a guy who had this kitted up, modded up Tundra. It has everything, right? The bells and whistles. And his daughter was in a cheerleading group or whatever, and she's like 5. So they had a car wash. So he posted a video of his daughter and her team doing the car wash. And then there were comments like, "You shouldn't have let them use those brushes or those bristles. That's going to say goodbye to your ceramic coat," stuff like that. And then the thing was, he wanted to show support, which is more important than the truck getting scratched up, right? But the community, Overland community, the people who don't have kids, they don't understand.
I was gonna say
that,
that's
right?
the difference between a dad and not a dad, because the 20-year-olds be like, dude, you know how much I spent on that truck? I'm not gonna let you scratch it. The dad's like, oh my god, that melts my heart watching my little girl wash the truck. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
Yeah, it's a very different perspective.
Hey Edward, I wanted to ask you this. I mean, you have a you have a big YouTube following. Like, has it been brought up between you and your wife, like, if you're gonna show the baby like on camera, or like
for her safety service reasons?
Just because.
Yeah,
like
we'll probably show her. You know, I kind of, that's a really good question, because I thought about when we're talking about the baby, I thought about what Casey Neistat did, which was he showed his daughter for a certain number of years, and he stopped showing her face on his videos. And his reason was because of the safety reasons, right?
Yeah.
Security and stuff like that. But I don't understand what that means. Like, are there people out there that like take the video of the baby and like do stuff to it? I don't know. You know, I
don't have a giant following, but I would assume it's like they might want to use her as bait, or they'll try to get to her to get to you. I don't know.
No, I would have. I would have thought. I can see what you're saying. No, but I would have thought it would be more.
Well, yeah, dude, it's the internet, bro.
Yeah, no. I can see what you're saying. You're saying that if they see the kid's face and understand, they could use that to their advantage if they want to do abduct her. But
just to personally attack Ed and his family.
But I would think it'd be more along the lines of if. And I've Presley's all over my Instagram, so I don't whatever my videos. But it'd be more of a thing like, if she's 12, will she be upset that she was on videos that she didn't have any choice? Like, she didn't get to choose whether or not she was. It's like forcing her to do. It'd be like giving her a tattoo when she's 4 of something that when she's 12, is she going to want that? But I don't.
Gotcha.
But I don't think that in today's society. Think about your daughter's being born now. By the time she's a teenager, there will not be anybody that doesn't have a social media, some form of online presence, right? I mean, and
I don't. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't go out of my way to put my son on Instagram. Like, I don't, but I also don't like prohibit it. Like, if it happens, it happens. But I don't try and like put him on there or anywhere.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point that you guys bring up, because every time, if I have like, back in the days when I had my exes or whoever comes to visit, me living with my parents, they share baby pictures, right? Like, and I don't want them to share my baby pictures because there's some embarrassing pictures in there. So I kind of understand that from that perspective as well.
But again, like on my personal Instagram, there's all kinds of pictures of Tammy and Presley, because that's where we're sharing the pictures with grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles.
I think it's inevitable at this day and age. Like, it's gonna I didn't even. The first picture of my son on Instagram wasn't even from us. It was from one of his aunts that put it up, and I'm like, the government got his face already.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's got opinion. You do what's right for you, man.
Yeah, but what you said, you make a great point, because eventually social media is just constantly growing, and they're gonna eventually have their own anyways. Like, I mean, I'm sure there are kids, I don't know because I didn't look it up, but there's probably kids that are 7 years old with their own Instagrams, right? I don't know.
TikTok is huge, dude. TikTokers.
No, hold on. You're going to be exposed to a world of YouTubers that are making millions of dollars before they're 7 years old. That's nuts. It is absolutely. Look up Ryan's World when you get a chance. He is, I think he's like 12 now. He's got toys in McDonald's Happy Meals. He's got billions of followers. His entire family now works for Ryan's World Productions, making videos. There is an entire army there's an entire industry of kids from 10 and under making content for kids 10 and under, and they're all billionaires, and they're all way richer than me, and I can't watch more than 5 minutes of their stuff without telling my daughter we have to change the channel because I'm going to punch somebody. It's the worst content in the world.
So what kind of content is it? Just like they're
toy opening, like
a lot of toy
unboxing, video games, talking over video games, going to the park. I mean, it's just random daily nonsense, and it's all over the place.
Well, do your kids like toys? Because that sounds like a good opportunity for them, right?
Yeah, but that's another, like, going back to Jose's comment. I don't know that I would want to put her in front of 10 million people. You know what I mean? She watches these things. I don't know. It's I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, the other thing that comes to mind is like child stars, right? Like, how often do you hear about child stars just growing up in an
they all turn
environment
out
where,
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All have no problem. They all have no problems at all. So yeah, there's gonna be a whole new round of that with YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what. I will. If you have any logos or anything you want me to use in promotion, email them to me. Otherwise, I'll just grab something off your Instagram or YouTube, and I will get this edited. And Wednesday night, I'll send you an email with the promotional post that we're going to use. And then we'll start promoting it on Thursday when the podcast gets available on the podcast apps. And then we'll go from there. But I will be in touch with you between now and then, and we'll do we'll get everything rolling from there. And then we're going to continue with the second segment of the show, and we will let you go for the night, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Do you guys need a break? Anybody need a break? No? Okay. Where is my... Oh, here it is.
You all right, Matt?
Tired.
I think Matt's going to fall asleep.
Big day today?
Just like I said, every month, like, more responsibility or whatever gets ratcheted or dumped on me. So it's like, oh yeah, some more today. I'll just work harder.
You can do more. You haven't met your full potential yet.
You're strong like bull. You can.
Yeah,
You can.
you
You got it, dude.
We won't talk about this. We won't talk about the Frontier TRX thing.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll start off. You guys,
No?
we can if you want to.
Frontier's fake. Those pictures are fake, and TRX is awesome. There you go.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, thanks to Edward Shin for joining us. Please go over to his YouTube and Instagram channel and subscribe to get some good content there. I did want to talk about my near-death experience today. I almost died today. You guys would have had to record this show without me.
Just another day.
So it is October 26th, 2020, and Irvine, South Orange County, is on fire. And my office is down there. And on my way down this morning, I had to, on the road down to work, I found myself driving through a cloud of ashes, and I thought, this is bad. This is not a good thing. I get to the office, do some work, start checking in, and I'm chatting with Tammy, and I'm like, I'm looking to see what's going on with this fire because I do not want to get stuck down here. And like 2 minutes later, my phone pops up, mandatory evacuations for this area. And the mandatory evacuation was everything north of Bake, of this one street. I am one street south of that. And I'm like, that's close enough. I'm getting the hell out of here. So I packed up and headed out, and I knew
Like, you needed that excuse to, like,
no.
go to work, like, oh, there was a fire within
1,000 feet of me.
the county.
Yes.
Like,
well, dude,
It was within 100 miles of.
yeah. So the main road that excuse me, Matt got me yawning. The main road that I would take was shut down because the fire was right there. So I had to get off, and I was like, okay, I'll take another road all the way down. And tons of people were doing the same thing. And it's one of those things where you're like, you want to go fast and get the hell out of Dodge, but everybody else is in front of you doing the same thing, so you can't really panic. I will tell you that it was a 3-lane road, and with a center divider, like a planter divider on the left, and then on the right was a grass divide with some trees, and then a super wide sidewalk. I kept myself in either the far left or the far right lane. I had the truck in 4-wheel drive at all times, and I was like, I would stop where I knew I could get out. Like I would stop in a position where I could go over the center divider, turn around and get out if I had to, or up on the curb and get down if I had to. I was like full panic escape mode.
Dude, I went over the median a couple months ago because a train stopped.
Yeah, I've done that
on Sierra, and I was like, "You're waiting for it to stop. Like, is it stopping?" And then, it's a giant train. So next thing you know, oh wow, that's completely stopped. It took 10 minutes just for it to stop. It's going to take, even if it started, another 10 minutes for it to get moving again. I ain't doing this. And I put it in 4-wheel drive. And I told the guy next to me, hey, can you back up a little bit? Because I was on the far right-hand side. And he backed up a little bit. I got some room, and I went right over the median. As I started pulling up, people were like, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
I would have been like, no, I can't.
Yeah. I would have been like, no, you're gonna sit here with the rest of us.
That's right.
But no, I was in full on escape mode, and I'm on Portola trying to get to the freeway. And then all of a sudden, you see lights, sirens, I hear sirens and lights. And then the fire is on the road next to me. Everybody is weaving over to the left to make a left-hand turn, and the smoke was so thick. We had our flashers on, and you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you.
You're lucky the car didn't die, because thick enough smoke, like it probably would have cut off
Ford smoke.
Yeah,
smoke.
Well, the Fords are used
that's
to
common.
smoke.
That's common.
No, that's true.
There's a special smoke function there.
That's true.
No, but the air probably that's an issue.
I could have. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but. So I made it through all that, and I ended up going way out of the way south to get to the 5 freeway to come back up north from where I was at. And it was just one of those things where you're like, I'm glad I have an off-road truck. At least I felt like I had options.
You had options.
Yeah.
Imagine you're driving like a car with like 22-inch wheels.
I had my phone, and I was like, okay, I can get over that hill. Like I'm looking like, where can I go to get out of here? And I felt like I had options, like an escape vehicle at the very least. But yeah, it went from so right now we have our Santa Ana wind conditions in Southern California, and it is ridiculous. When we say winds, like the winds equate to like a tornado, but instead of lasting for a minute and a half in a tornado, it's going to last for 3 days.
Especially in Fontana.
Yes. At Matt and Jose's house, here it is bad. Like I came home, there were 3 lawn chairs in the pool. Like you can't, the whole pool is black.
So part of my fence blew down. We've owned the house for 5 years now. And every other year it's a section of fence that goes down. This is a newer section too, which sucks.
So my house is behind my house is just a field, and then it's by the 210. So dude, I drove by there today, and it was just
a dust storm.
No, but it was just like it was just super
debris.
windy. Yeah. But luckily, it's concrete walls around the house. So
yeah.
good.
That is good.
That's good.
This morning when I left for work, my truck is backed into the driveway, and I'm sitting there plugging my phones in, getting my seatbelt on, and a trash can, one of those big trash cans, comes flying down my street at 10 miles an hour, all the way to the end of the street. There was trash cans out. And I've lived in this neighborhood long enough to know I never put my trash cans out the night before, specifically because of this. I don't know why all these people put their trash cans out. You wake up in the morning, the trash is everywhere.
Oh, dude, I'm like a 2 day before the trash day.
No, I do it that morning.
Not in Fontana. You're not.
No, yeah, there was 3 of those trash cans and on the street.
Yeah.
So that happens, down, I live on a cul-de-sac. It's it's like a T at the very bottom of the street. Thankfully, I'm at the top of the cul-de-sac. My cul-de-sac is up top.
Yeah.
So everything I don't batten down, gets blown down to the guys at the bottom of the street. And that includes trash cans.
Yeah.
And, I got smart. My old company I worked for, we had a big printer, like you could print stickers, like
you get stencils, dude, and spray paint.
Whatever. These are outdoor, because
right.
we label air conditioners and stuff.
Yeah,
big 2-inch letters, and so I put my address on all of them.
Would you put mine?
Because I put my
you just put mine,
my address on them, and then because it's happened where your trash cans are just gone. And there's a pile of them down the street. Like, I don't know, should I just grab one of these? I don't know. So now I have them identified.
Yeah,
so.
This guy here at the end of the street, across the street here, everything blows this direction. And so I guarantee at the end of the day, all the trash, all the cardboard, all the pizza boxes are in his driveway. Yeah. And I bet he wished he would have known that before he bought the house.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So driving in this morning, it was super windy when I got up. And by the time the sun came up, I was at work before the sun. And I came out of the office, and it looked like it was the fires again in Azusa, because Azusa, West Covina, or whatever, that was the last major fire we had a couple months ago.
Yeah.
They're not on fire. It's just all the ash being blown back up into the air. The air quality was disgusting. My truck was covered in ash again. Mm-hmm. So again, that's, thanks, Devil Wind.
Yeah, it's
gross.
It's dumb. My eyes are still sore, feeling crappy from all the dust and everything. So we are hopefully, the first responders, the firefighters, the paramedics. That was the other thing. Once I got all the way around and I was on the 91 freeway heading home, there's traffic on the 91 going west, and all of the Riverside County firefighters, the lights and sirens, they're all hauling ass, trying to get out there to help. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this has got to be the worst thing. It's so windy. And that fire in Irvine went from 50 acres to 2,000 acres in 15 minutes. The wind blew it so fast that it was beyond. What do you do? There's nothing you can do. And hopefully everybody that was in that area, they got evacuated. They all got back in their houses. Everything's okay. I haven't had a chance to check on it in a while, but it is crazy out there. People, please be careful.
Be careful that you're not starting a fire either. Be careful of the fires and try and be responsible.
You mean I can't burn my trash right now?
Don't burn, and don't flip your cigarettes out.
No fireworks. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. So last week I was supposed to do this and I forgot. We got an email from Alex Sagisi, one of our longtime listeners, and he says, can you help us spread the word on this petition to open back up Oceana Dunes, a.k.a. Pismo Dunes, Pismo Beach? Its open dates keep getting pushed back, and hopefully this petition will help in some sort of way. Thanks for all that you can share. So for those of you that want to help, please go to change.org, and you can search for Oceana Dunes and find the petition there to help get the dunes back open again. I mean that the Pismo has been for as long as I can remember.
I've never been.
But it's one of the best places. But it's one of those things where it is always in the eye of possibly getting shut down and getting Oceano Dunes. Yeah, search Oceano Dunes. It's always about to get shut down. Yeah. So we need to try to maintain our public lands. Please go to change.org, search for Oceano Dunes or Pismo, and you'll find it. And Alex, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Sorry we didn't mention it last week, but it's definitely something we need to do. So
the problem, if that closes down, that sets precedence to all the other trails,
and then
it's just more fuel for trail closures.
Yeah, and if you look at Pismo's map today versus 10 years ago,
dude, it's like a third of it.
Yeah, it's a fraction of what it was. It used to be huge, and now it's one of the most fun places to wheel. We used to go during the summer, 4th of July, whatever, because it's still cool and you're on the beach and you could wheel all day, top off of the Jeep.
First time I went to Pismo was with you guys, and
right after you started dating my sister.
That's right. I don't know how I can't make that dirty, but yes. And that was my first time there. It was literally 110 or something here, middle of summer. It was beginning of summer or whatever, blazing hot. And everybody was like, yeah, we're going to Pismo, bring your dirt bike. And I'm thinking, the last thing I want to do is ride my dirt bike in this heat. And as soon as we got out of the truck, it was a long drive, 5 or 6 hours or whatever. By the time we got there, it was 69 degrees or something.
Yeah.
Cool breeze right on the coast.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the best. And then I had a great time riding my bike the whole next day. It was awesome.
And I don't even think it's the city it's one organization that
because the city, so much of the city's economy is based on those people coming out. Because right outside of the dunes, there's the whole town of Pismo, and you can go in there for food and drinks and car service and all the stuff. So yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know who's driving it or why, but we need to sign this petition. So please go to change.org and sign it. He did then ask. He said, "Did Jose ever run through the whole Star Trek series?" Since he mentioned it, I started watching it, and I've gone through almost 2 series.
No, I'm still. I had to take a little hiatus, but I finished school, so I have some more free time on my hands.
Do we want to talk about that? So Jose has been nose deep.
Look, I'm 35 and I'm barely getting a bachelor's degree. All right.
I am 46 and do not have one. So
that's nothing to gawk about here.
No, I'm just saying you have. So part of the reason you haven't been on the last 2 or 3 weekend events is because you've been buried in studying for school. You finished school. You've got a test coming up this week that you're going to knock out of the park. I'm 100% positive of that.
Yeah, this last class
God,
really.
Are you like his motivational?
I'm trying to pump him up.
Like
I'm trying to
easy, Tony Robbins.
Life coach.
I'm trying to pump him up.
Everything. All his plans and things.
It's just this
you got
last
that interview
class.
for that special job coming up.
This last class really kicked my ass. It was a lot of unexpected work that I didn't know was going to take up all my weekends. But
basket weaving,
dude.
Yeah,
but this was like a
special
weave, dude.
Yeah,
like those weaves, watertight.
What?
Yeah, watertight.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways, yeah. So I'm done with school now. Now it's just state test, bunch of parties, and student teaching in the beginning of next year. But as far as schoolwork goes,
can you imagine, like, in the middle of class, Jose's like, "Hey, you guys, will you fucking shut up and start learning?"
Wow, look at you with the F-bomb.
Who the fuck said that?
Yeah, see, I can totally see Jose dropping the bombs in class, in the middle of class. Be like,
but I don't even know what that's going to look like. Because,
you don't have your homework today? Fuck it,
dude. Just turn it tomorrow.
Okay, guys, I was kidding. You don't have to do it all the time.
You guys did it. I wanted to do it.
But I don't know what student teaching is going to be like in a couple months here, because schools are not open.
God, that is true. Like, oh man.
So I think
that's horrible.
So I think I'm going to be doing student teaching through Zoom.
You're going to be sitting on someone's Zoom call.
What I'm doing right now, I'm just going to be looking into the camera. I'm not going to be giving a shit who's listening to me or not. I don't care.
Oh man.
I'm not getting paid anyways. So.
Wow.
Oh man, you'll be multitasking with another screen.
Yeah, I'll be World of Warcraft.
Questing.
Yeah, I got questing, dude.
A couple years
Raids.
from now, they're going to be like
questing and raids.
Yeah.
A couple years from now, they're going to be like, I don't know why Jose doesn't teach very well. He went through all of his student teaching.
He's a level 59 mage, though. Casting spells.
No, the new expansion's coming out. It's called Shadowland. Level cap's 80.
Okay.
So
I wasn't aware. The last time I played, I think it was like 40.
60
49.
was probably 60 was probably when you
all
was
right.
the original.
So,
yeah.
Maybe I was at.
It was
120.
120. It was 120 until this new expansion, and then they bumped it down to 80.
Moving on from Dungeons and Dragons talk.
Star Trek talk.
We did get a couple new reviews.
Yeah, we did.
You want to read those, Jose?
So we got one on October 15th by Emily LaRue. It states it's titled "Nice Work." It's a 5-star. It says for far too long I have lived in the dark, embarrassed. Jose made it okay to be a clawhead. You guys are all funny, but Jose's the funniest.
Whoa, who is Emily LaRue?
Yeah, I don't know who Emily is.
Emily LaRue. He's married. Emily
I
LaRue.
am married.
I feel like is that Letty's? Is that Letty's?
Yeah, it's
pseudonym?
pseudonym.
Yes,
it's his wife. We got one more.
Yeah, and then the other one's just from Rock Ranger, ROK Ranger, titled Tyler and Jimmy, and it just says "Love the episode."
Yep, that was the Snail Trail guys was a good episode. We had a lot of fun talking to them. For those of you that haven't already done so, please go over to iTunes, rate and review, and you know what? More importantly, subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast feed so that you get your updates.
Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, dude, get us to 1,000, and then stay at 1,000.
Yeah, what are we at? What do we say?
946.
Yeah,
like it's been 940.
We were at 1,000.
Yeah, but then people. That's another thing too. Is like we were there already, and then that contest was over. People unsubscribed. Like you actually had to go to the thing, and I'm like, why unsubscribe? Who cares if it shows up in your feed?
Because they didn't want to see our fat, ugly faces. I don't know. Yeah, we did get up to like 1,001.
No, it was like 1,100.
No, it wasn't that high.
It was
it
pretty
that high?
Yeah. I was like, oh damn, we really passed 1,000.
So I didn't check it. Last time I saw it was just past 1,000. I was like, sweet, we just got past 1,000. And then it went.
Yeah, then it dropped again.
946. So if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe on the podcast feed, whether it be Pocket Cast, Podcast Addict, iTunes. The actual subscribing helps ratchet us up.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think that's. Oh, we do have one more thing to discuss.
The Hummer?
No, I'll let you talk about that on your own time with Matt. We have decided.
Oh, that's right.
We have decided on the winter expedition.
Oh yeah.
I
think I was sort of a part of that.
You were you were in there for a while.
Matt was barely part of this conversation, but he's part of the conversation. So we have decided we are going to do a winter expedition. The winter expedition will be December 11, 12.
And it's going to be in
the weekend of December 12th and 13th, I think. Is it 11th and 12th?
And where's this expedition going to take us to?
We are going to find ourselves in Parker, Arizona. We have not ventured far east. This is going to be an opportunity to go out there. I have wheeled in Parker several times. It's a lot of fun. We have we've laid out a couple routes that we think are going to work. There's we've talked about on the show a couple times about some of the things that are out there. We have not finalized all of the details, so we don't have a registration up. But there will be, I would say by this time next week, we will have registration available. We have to determine what the count is going to be.
So I'm putting in for time off?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And I swear, there's one person that this is targeted for.
Is it targeted for?
It was a factor. It was a factor in the conversation when we had the conversation.
All the shit they talk.
It was a factor, and I've been on text with him multiple times.
He ain't coming.
I know he's not going to
show up. Dude.
He says he'll show up even if he has to be a passenger in somebody's vehicle, but he ain't going to show up.
Bust out that minivan.
Yeah, well, I asked. My text message was, "Are you going to have the minivan lifted in time for the winter expedition?" So we're looking at basically 11, 12, 13. So I have not decided if I'm going to go out Thursday the 10th or early Friday the 11th, but definitely we will be needing to take Friday the 11th off, wheel the 11th and 12th, coming home on the 13th.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun trip. We've had some conversations with Nexon and Icon about them being involved. We've got some additional ideas about things we want to provide, which may change the way the registration works. So for those of you that are interested and that have been on some of the trips with us, you know how much fun these things can be. Mm-hmm. My expectation is we're going to try to limit to around 20. Which makes it tough because there's a handful of people that are already
spots are filling up quick.
Yeah, there are spots that are going to be full before they're even registered. Right. You know what I mean? So I know that's going to be a thing. So we'll play that by ear, but the goal is to I want to go out Thursday night because Jose and I were talking about it earlier. The plan would be leave Southern California at 6:30 in the morning, get out there by 10:30, 11, and then unload and wheel for the day. That's a long ass day. I would rather leave after work on Thursday, fight my way out there Thursday night, at least sleep in the truck Thursday and be fresh for Friday morning.
So you're not bringing the family at all?
Don't know yet. We haven't decided. Tammy's been out here. She's wheeled this area. She loves it out here, so she might go. If maybe we leave Presley at one of the grandma's houses or something. But it will be a fun trip. We will be on Saturday. We will be stopping at the Desert Bar as part of the itinerary, which is a fun time.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to bring my kids to a bar. Can I?
Yeah. It's all
Arizona, bro.
It's Arizona, dude.
Oh yeah.
we just established that you could do anything. There's no laws there.
Over there.
But it's a large open area.
They can just drink White Claws.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Juice, White Claws.
Yeah. So that we just wanted to give you guys the heads up that is a thing that is going to happen, unless I end up in surgery again for some reason. This was a real possibility at this point.
It always is with you.
Wait a minute. Because something else is going to happen to you, or your arm's messed up?
No, just look at me. There's a real chance any given day. There's a real chance.
He's what you would call fragile.
So if you are interested,
He's Italian?
Yes.
Yeah, he's Italian.
If you are interested in joining us on the winter expedition, my suggestion would be keep it in the next 7 to 10 days. Keep an eye on our Instagram page. Keep an eye on our website.
Do I have to?
If you don't register, you can't go.
Hey, a spot's a spot, and if your name's not on the spot, you don't go, dude.
Be like, what are you doing here? I'll get the clipboard out in the morning and be like, I don't see Diaturli on.
What does that mean? Like,
Diaturli. Is that Italian too?
no, it's technically it's German, but they
were buddies at one point.
They were.
Goddamn, what was I going to say? The registration. Keep an eye on Instagram. Listen to the show. We will announce it on the show, and we will post it on the website. If you go to trailchasers.net/events, I've already got the links up there. Some of the images up there for the upcoming events, but no registration button yet. Once that registration button goes live, people will register. It'll be a first come, first serve.
Probably the internet will probably shut down.
Yeah, we're gonna break the server,
we're gonna break it. And I think what I think we'll do is we didn't take contingencies on the Kessel Run. Like we just kind of capped it once we got our number, and then people slowly dropped off.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean? And so we had room there.
Yeah.
So I want to get the registration up early enough so people can register.
We have a backup list.
And then we'll have, if we get to more than 25 people, then we'll have a waiting list. And as people drop off, we'll bring the next one.
Is there enough room to have 20, 25 rigs on this trip in trail?
Yes. So the camping area.
This was probably discussed in one
this
of your
was
meetings,
this. So here's the background, folks. We had a meeting on Saturday. We had a meeting on Saturday. Matt, Jose, Casey, and I. Matt was invited. Everybody had a meeting.
Hey, are you coming to this meeting? And I'm like,
and he says,
"That's all I effing do."
And you know what? Meetings. You know what? I even intentionally texted Matt. I included Jose so Matt didn't feel like I was singling him out. But hey, I want to have this discussion with you guys before Monday. Are you available? Jose, as usual. Yep, just let me know. Matt, I don't know, man.
Silence.
I don't know, man. I might be
Crickets.
watching TV. I don't know. You might have to call me. Okay, fine.
There was no such response. I would never waste time with that.
He wouldn't bullshit you like that.
Yeah, like BS response. I might have said, but I don't know, bro.
You flat out say, "Nah, I'm not available. I'm not going to your stupid meeting."
No. You had said, yeah, whatever, but you might have to call me at that time. Quote, sure, you might have to call me, though, likely working on the truck of my dad's then. Like
So you knew exactly what was going on. And you still had the meeting at that time.
I
did call in.
And I asked if you
what
wanted it to be earlier.
About? That was matter of fact. I just laid it out. I don't think I was very
cryptic.
Yeah, I think I pretty much told you this is probably what's going to happen. But all right, have the meeting.
So we had the meeting. I texted
you on speaker. I tried talking, and I'm like, "Hey guys, can you hear me?" Nothing.
Bullshit.
I put you on the hood of my truck, and then just kind of listened in.
Bullshit. I texted you and I called you. You didn't answer. You called in and said, "Hey guys, you there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's going on?" Silence. You didn't say. Am I right, Jose? Like you said.
I mean, he was on for a while. He was on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, do you guys hear me? You guys hear me?" Nah, and he just hung up.
Yeah. So
it got silent for
like
all
10
of
minutes. So the last 3 minutes of this conversation was to set up the fact that all of the questions that Matt's about to ask have already been discussed.
So it seems like this is good content. Like it seems like probably everybody wants to know.
Well,
what's going on?
There is.
How do you get to Parker? How do you spell Parker?
You enter it into Google.
Is it in Arizona?
Yes, it is in Arizona. So
I think so.
Right now, so we looked at. There's a sanctioned state camping area that we looked at that I felt would have been a good spot for us. The concern was we wouldn't have been able to get more than 16 rigs in there.
That's right.
And very clearly says quiet time between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Hell no.
Fuck that.
Oh, come on, Jose. So
Yeah.
I was talking to Tammy about it, and she was like, "You guys should go someplace else."
No.
So the area that we're looking.
Look, everybody knows if you're going to fight about Mike Trout, the best time to do it is after midnight.
Or Jason.
You gotta get it. You gotta wait until after midnight. The clock strikes 12, and that's when everybody gets fired up.
Yeah,
they get fired about Jason Priestley, and they want to hear about Mike Trout. That's it.
So the
I
area
don't make the rules.
The area that we're camping in right now, that we're looking at, is a very wide open, leveled out area. People park RVs there and camp in that area all the time. The only thing I thought about, I was telling Jose, I don't know if we can have a campfire.
I was going to say fire pits.
So there's no fire pits. I don't know if we can have a campfire. So I'm going to try to do some research and find out.
We're gonna have to buy a solo stove.
I've got that fire pit ring. I mean, I'm sure if we have a ring, we can do it, but I don't know. So the plan is, yes, John, it is close to the river. The plan is to camp there.
John, that's I believe, the Colorado River. I mean, these guys and their lack of details.
So the plan is to camp, and we'll a couple different trails. One long trail on Friday.
What if the Ford was on fire? Would that count as a campfire? Could we still? Because I'll tell you what, I'll still hang out next to that thing smoldering and talk some trash about it. We'll have a good time.
We have before.
We'll talk conspiracy
at the Punch Bowl.
I know. We'll talk conspiracy theories by the light of the embers left over from that Ranger. Oh, that sounds romantic.
You guys suck. So keep an eye out for details. So the plan is to go out there either Thursday night or early Friday morning. Wheel on Friday, wheel on Saturday, break camp and come home on Sunday.
What kind of wheeling is it?
It's similar to Johnson Valley, where it's dry and rocky,
Desert
rock
rocky trails.
Mm-hmm. There is and it's similar to Johnson Valley or like Ocotillo Wells. Like it's very, very similar to that. The one thing that's going to be very different than we've done in the past is you're 10 minutes away from town. Like where we're camping, you can go into Havasu or down into Parker, and if you need ice, if you need food, it's not out of the way to go get gas and go do.
Sounds like one of my favorite camping sites already.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. And there's a store down there.
So don't even bother packing food or anything.
No.
Just get out there.
Grab what you need.
Why slow yourself down bringing out food?
Yeah,
there's food right there.
Yes, you can totally go drive through McDonald's and get dinner. And there's a store there we call the Chicken, because I don't know if it still does, but it used to have a giant chicken. You've been to the Chicken, giant chicken out on the front of the thing, and they have like great pizza, hot wings, everything. That's 10 minutes away. But they also sell Bluebell ice cream, and you can't get Bluebell ice cream in California. They won't ship it any further than Parker, Arizona.
And he knows about like the ice cream. People will be like, we used to go to Arizona for Busch beer because that was the
Yuengling.
Well, yeah, whatever. He knows about the ice cream
because it's really good ice cream. And
okay.
I think Tammy wants to go on this trip just specifically to be able to get ice cream at that
store.
For the
Yuengling?
I don't even know what that is. What is Yuengling?
It's this beer that you can only get on the East Coast. It's like
I've never heard of it either.
It's one of these It's one of the oldest breweries in the U.S. Like from the 1700s.
Oh, wow.
It stops, I think, like at the Mississippi. It's kind of like Smokey and the Bandit.
Eastbound down, loaded up and trucking.
And yeah, my brother-in-law Jonathan, he talks about all that. He's like, dude, you gotta try this Yuengling, because he travels out for his work.
That sounds like something else.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was confused.
I was like,
hey, you ever try Yuengling? Hell no, man. I ain't trying that. My wife would kill me.
Yeah, I can't afford that.
Yeah, I can't afford Yuengling.
I don't know, but it's probably just like some bullshit like Coors Light of the East or whatever. I don't know, dude.
Yuengling, Coors Light of the East. That sounds racist, Jose.
Not the Far
East Coast. He's talking about like New York and Boston.
Sid. Never mind.
Although,
Can't believe you talk like that.
all right. So with that said, mark your calendars if you are interested in going on a trip with us.
December 13th,
11,
11
12.
through 13th.
Yes, 11 through 13. So it's so Matt, bare minimum, you need the 11th off.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna put some time off. I gotta use my time. If I don't use it, I lose it.
So then take the 10th and 11th off. You can go out early on Thursday and secure camp.
And get Monday too.
Oh,
Take all
Look,
them
I'm not
days.
going to stop you. I mean, that's up to you.
Right.
I don't know that I don't think I'll be able to get the 10th and 11th off. I probably get the 11th off, but
Probably I'll be dead from COVID anyhow.
yeah,
but
for sure.
Did you ever get your test results back?
I did. Hey, I don't have COVID, guys. But it took the second test. It took my second test to find out.
But you still never got the results from the
I
first
never
test.
got exactly. That one was totally hokey because it was like somebody at work.
You
had
went
tested
to
positive.
somebody's house?
I had to go to Rialto for a county test. You know, they gave away free tests, and the chick just went, "Yeah, here, just jam this up your nose," and like moving around.
Matt's like, it's funny though. The second one, they didn't make me take off my pants.
I was a little bummed out. I was really looking forward to those tests
Don't you need the cup?
and the results. Here's your results. But yeah, the second one was actually at Kaiser, and they, in a way, it was cool because they were set up. It was like you come in, you don't even get out of your car, you just pull in.
They just shove that thing up your nose.
He goes.
ready?
Yeah, just he goes. That was later, a couple days later. That happened. But I don't want to.
Yeah, is this where I take my pants?
He goes, I pull up, I put the window down, I got my mask on and stuff, even though I'm about to get assaulted. And he goes, just go ahead. First he had the back of my
Right.
with the swab, and then he goes, yeah, so now I got to do your nose. You're not going to like this. Just sit back.
That's exactly what the nurse said to me.
Yes, and just blam. Like, that's the longest Q-tip I ever
You
seen.
can feel it
And
behind your eye.
Yes,
See, that's
and
what
the
Letty
whole
said.
thing was
That's what
gone.
Letty said, like, they were like massaging the inside
Yes.
of her, like,
Yes.
You could
frontal lobe.
You
dude.
can feel it behind your eye, like they were touching your brain, and you're like the whole time you're like, "Oh my god, what is going
It
on?"
makes me wonder, like, because I always clean out my ears with Q-tips. Like, it's like I love it. I need to get some of them longer Q-tips. I don't know how
Oh,
far.
dude,
Yeah.
you're
I don't know
you're
how
not
far
even,
I can
You're
get
not
in
even
there.
supposed to use
Yeah, you're
Q-tips in your ears.
No, every time I go to the doctor and he looks and gives me a checkup, he comments on, "Wow, you got really clean ears. Thank you." And that's why.
I work at it.
I do.
I take pride. I haven't trimmed the hair in 20
No,
years.
God, no. I gotta use two hands just to get it in there. Like, get it through that forest of hair that all of a sudden starts growing out of my ears. Like, the hell's that all
That's
about?
the joy of getting older, dude. Well, you got hair growing everywhere, except
I have one chest hair, literally, and it's like long and curly. And I gotta pluck it every now and then. It's
like
just
a-
one, dude.
You're like a cartoon character,
Yeah.
like if someone drew Pluto.
I'm finally a man.
I made it.
I made it.
Oh well.
Dude,
on that note,
That means puberty's coming right around the corner.
right around the corner,
I'm almost
any-
there,
any
dude.
day now.
I'm almost there.
You might have a growth spurt.
I
coming.
might.
You might actually be like 8.5 feet tall when you're done.
Oh, I hope so.
All right. So, thanks to Ed. Thanks for everybody that gave us feedback. This we're going so far off track right now.
Imagine like 20 years
Hey,
from now,
guys.
he's got to crunch down like just to get in here because he actually did hit a growth spurt
At 35.
At 35,
and
dude.
and a full chest full
Yeah,
of
dude.
hair. Nice.
So please go subscribe to the show if you want more
This
chest hair conversation.
This episode was like
all
ran,
loaded, yeah,
it ran
dude.
the gambit.
Yeah,
today.
all over the
We
place.
loaded in buckshot on this one. Like, it was all over the dude. He talked about fatherhood and
That's kind of normal, I guess. You know, you give
COVID tests.
We did cover some COVID. Did we talk about four-wheeling?
Not really.
No,
dude.
Talk
not
about
really.
the
There's
potential,
fires.
the potential for four-wheeling to escape fires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That qualifies.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Go subscribe, and we'll talk to you next week. All right.
Oh, man, that's funny.
You know what? There's like 9 people watching, but there's only 5.
Yeah, dude,
likes.
It's always like that. Sometimes there's only one.
Sup with
Me.
that?
We had significantly more than 9 at one point. It just dropped off. So okay, hey everybody in the chat room, thank you for joining as always. What's up, Dave, Scott, Mark, John, Tim was in there for a while, Elam.
Yeah.
John, I already.
Tim always checks out like halfway through.
He goes to work.
Apparently, he has to go to work.
I thought he was like a trucker or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
well, they work at night too, man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they drive all
Adventurous
night.
Northwest. Rob was in there for a little bit. Joey Mendoza, Casey. All right, guys.
What is this, a romper room?
It is. I just like acknowledging the people that show up. Thank you guys for showing up. We're going to end the stream right now. We will again for the many of you that are in this.
Thank you for the likes. I see that.
We got a couple more.
Squeaky wheel.
Couple more.
Gets the clicks.
And I know that some of the people in the chat are the people that will probably be joining us on the winter expedition. So keep an ear to the ground. It's coming soon. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. You guys have a good night.